Welcome back to A Peaceful Pursuit. I hope you're doing well. Join me for some cozy, lovely evening homemaking. I'm starting with dinner. This is a recipe that I like to fall back on all the time. If you have ground beef in your fridge, thawed, or even not, I've done it when it hasn't been completely thawed too. You have to take some extra steps, but you just need ground beef, you need some seasoning, you need an egg, you need some cheese. It is an adaptation from the Prairie Homestead. I believe it's in her cookbook, but if I can find it online, I will link it for you down below. But I know that I initially grabbed it from her physical cookbook that I own. So I'll do my best to find it, but it's a cheesy meatloaf. Basically, you just do salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, Parmesan cheese on the inside of the meatloaf, an egg, and then you're supposed to do breadcrumbs, but I just leave that out because I'm not doing gluten or anything now. My family could do it, but since I'm eating it too, I just leave it out and I never have any issues. It's delicious. You could totally mix up the spices. You could, I don't know, like you could just make it your own. I think a meatloaf is just a really simple thing to fall back on if you have an egg in your fridge and some beef, and basically you need some seasonings and that's about it. So this one, once you mix it all together, I top it with sharp cheddar shredded cheese and then bake it at 350. I always do about 45 minutes. Comes out perfect. And then I like to serve this with mashed potatoes, and then I usually make a gravy. I don't eat the gravy currently because I'm not doing grains, and I've tried making gravy with like arrowroot powder, cornstarch, and it just doesn't turn out the same as when I use all-purpose flour or einkorn flour. So I just make it for the rest of my family and I just don't eat it, but it's still delicious even with just potatoes and the cheesy meatloaf by itself. So this is a perfect fallback recipe and definitely going to be a staple for us as we're heading into the colder season. I think on this particular day I needed to go grocery shopping, and usually when we're about a day or two away from grocery shopping, I don't know, I try to meal plan all the way up to when we have to go again, but sometimes you just work your way through things a little bit quicker than anticipated. So it's nice to sometimes buy like an extra pound of beef or just an extra block of cheese or whatever whenever you go, just so that you at least have those things that are filling and nutritious, nutrient dense, so that when you are close to grocery shopping, you can still have something nutritious and filling to give to your family. And for me too, this pregnancy, I have had to eat a lot. Like every 2 to 4 hours. I can't really even go more than 3 hours without eating during the day. And I'm always doing like protein, fat, carb, like really trying to just nourish myself and fill up. And this is one of my favorite meals to do that. So for the mashed potatoes, I always do sour cream. Well, first I boil them, or not boil them, like kind of like a low, I don't even know what you call it, like a low simmer in milk. And then I add sour cream, butter, salt. Sometimes I'll do garlic if you're feeling fancy, but they always taste delicious as well. So here's that, served it with some sauerkraut, and we are moving on to some laundry. I normally do not do very much homemaking at all in the evenings. I try to get everything done that I want to get done during the day, and then if I don't get to stuff, because usually I don't, there's something that I didn't get to, I just give myself grace and I push it over to the next day. But this particular day we were going to be heading out of town for the weekend, and so I just wanted to get like some loose ends tied up just so that there wouldn't be a ton of stuff waiting for me when I got back, and also so that I would have things to pack and just that things wouldn't be in complete chaos when we were leaving the house. So I normally at this time, like after my son goes to bed, I'm not doing work. I'm usually like taking a shower, relaxing, reading a book, listening to a podcast, kind of just winding down. But this was a different evening. Okay, cleaning bathrooms is like my least favorite chore. Like, I would rather do dishes, laundry, wipe down the kitchen. I would rather do all of those things any day, and in fact, I kind of enjoy them. But I really don't like cleaning bathrooms. But this bathroom, the shower really needed to be cleaned. And cleaning the shower, it's just it almost seems silly because it's like it gets a shower every time somebody takes a shower. So logistically, it seems a little bit silly, but we all know the showers need to be cleaned. But I just hate it. It's just such an awkward task. You have to kind of bend all weird, and it gets really uncomfortable when you're pregnant, and it's just not something that I love. But it must be done, and this sparkly white shower was looking fresh when I did finish it. So like I said, I normally don't do things in the evening, and I hope that most people don't. I hope that, we're spending that time resting and rejuvenating for the next day ahead. It is tricky. When I first became a mom, I felt like this is the time I got to get a bunch of stuff done because it's hard to learn how to do things with your kids, but it is doable, and bringing them along really helps. So I hope that you got some homemaking motivation, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.